News, breaking news now.
All right, breaking news starts this newscast. Avondale police are saying a missing persons investigation has now turned into a murder case. These are images from Sky 12, and you can see detectives digging in this backyard. They discovered human remains in the yard of a quiet neighborhood in Litchfield Park. This is a special edition of 12 News. I'm Troy Hayden.
And I'm Tram Mai. 12 News journalist Sean Rice is live there, just yards away from where those remains were found. Sean, what are you learning now?
Yeah, Tram, Troy, good afternoon to you both. Troy, you mentioned this as a quiet neighborhood. That's exactly how I would describe it here in this Litchfield Park neighborhood near Litchfield and Indian School Roads, really just south of Luke Air Force Base. Behind me has been a consistent presence of both Avondale police officers, Phoenix police officers, and detectives from both agencies. What this has been described as for over 48 hours now is a missing persons case. That's what we've known it as. But this morning it took a dramatic turn, now labeled a homicide investigation after there were two sets of unidentified human remains found buried in the backyard of a home in this area. Let's take you back to that Sky 12 video. We do not see this often. Two large red tents, one blue tent, a bulldozer seen in the backyard of that home here on Mesquite Lane. Detectives were using heavy equipment to excavate the remains from beneath the backyard. The investigation began after family members asked police to check on a husband, a wife, and their adult son. This was back on Tuesday. Officers immediately entered the home 48 hours ago with the help of a family member. Inside, they found evidence of foul play. As detectives searched the inside and outside of the property, they decided to look underneath the soil in the backyard. That's when they found two bodies found in various stages of decomposition, but it's unclear how long these two bodies have been buried beneath the soil. Investigators now working with the medical examiner's office and other agencies to recover these remains and confirm the victims' identities. Police say they believe this couple's son, 27-year-old Matthew Flores, left the country before officers were able to conduct that welfare check. He is now considered the main homicide suspect in this case. In a briefing early this afternoon, Avondale police elaborated on what it looked like back on Tuesday when they first made entry into the home.
A large amount of blood and evidence to us that there was an attempt to conceal that. Right now, what I can say is that the two remains that we are recovering are not identified, and we are not releasing the name of the father and mother that we expected to be at the residence per the request of the family who made the initial report to us.
And as we learn these details this morning, Avondale police released what appears to be a driver's license photo of Matthew Flores. You see it here on your screen. Again, he is 27 years old, but besides that, we don't know many details about him. Detectives say they have evidence he may have fled the country before they arrived at the home back on Tuesday, and now they're working to track him down. One thing I did ask the Avondale police officer who gave us the briefing this afternoon is, do they have evidence he may be in Mexico? That is obviously, because our proximity to the southern border, the typical spot where potentially a homicide suspect would flee. They did not elaborate or answer my question as to what evidence they have that tells them to this point Matthew Flores may be outside the country. We do know there is a nationwide and really global manhunt at this point for Matthew Flores, now sought as the main homicide investigation in this really bizarre case. We'll send it back to you guys.
And do we have any idea what kind of a head start he may have? I mean, because you talk about, you know, a crime scene and burying remains, and we don't know how long they've been down there. Are we talking about days or weeks or months?
Yeah, we don't know at this point. That's another question we tried to get some information from Avondale police on. I'm not sure they know at this point what type of head start they have. I mentioned this at 1 o'clock was when you're making entry into a home and you see and uncover bodies, you don't know how long they've been there because you don't know what type of interaction this potential couple, the parents potentially, will have with other people that would tell family members and friends, hey, they might be missing. We haven't heard from them in various weeks. So we don't know what type of relationship they had with friends and family that would give us some information as to how long nobody had heard from them up to this point.
It's so odd.
Yeah, and who knows how long those bodies have been decomposed.
Right,
That's
and you would think that when they went in there, Sean, I'm sorry, when they went in there and looked, that they'd see right away there were graves back there, but it was all dirt in the backyard. So maybe he tamped it down really well. It wasn't like they dug up grass and there was a dead spot in the grass or something like that as well. I'm sorry, we got to go here, Sean, but what a strange case, and we'll get
okay,
more
no problem.
on it, throughout the rest of the night.